right, we're going to get the show started, ladies and gents. This is day 2 of the Florida 90-day run, guys. I'm so excited for this series, guys. It's going to be a phenomenal Zoom and a 90-day run, guys, to help you build your businesses, to help you take your business to the next level, guys. And that's what this Zoom is going to be all about. Laser focused on utilizing the systems that we have in place, helping you understand how to utilize goal setting, how to go out and do your exposures and keep yourself accountable here as a team so that you could then duplicate that into your organizations, guys. So I want to go ahead and just dive into the segment for today, guys, because this is one of the most important things that you could do for your business here is core commitment number 3, right? Core commitment number 3 is 2 exposures every day. Now, I mentioned on yesterday's call that we were going to focus on the 10 core commitments, guys. That is the heartbeat. That's the culture. That's how all of the ring owners in this company built their businesses one day at a time. As you know, in the network division, that's how we do it. That's the roadmap to 6 figures on a part-time basis. And core commitment number 3 is doing 2 exposures a day. So what we're going to focus on through this series, guys, is focusing on doing 2 exposures, getting on 1 meeting a week, and then getting to that Super Saturday. And I want to show you the power of sticking to the daily activity, right? Laser focused, having a no excuses mentality, no matter what, making the decision to do 2 exposures a day. Now, we asked a couple of questions on last week's. Wow, time flies, right? On yesterday's Zoom, right? We asked who was going to Jamaica. We asked, how many brand new people do you want on your team by the time Mr. Carruthers comes around? And I just want to illustrate to you guys that having that goal is good, but you have to understand a couple of factors and able to put a proper plan together in place for you to achieve that goal. And here's the deal, guys. The companies are 52 years with these 10 core commitments. They've got the formula figured out, right? And Mr. Grant Cardone says it all the time. Listen, your network is your net worth. Your network is your network. Now, when you hear people that are not in the industry, like Mr. Grant Cardone, say things like this, he's referring to the business partnerships that you develop, right? The collaborations between, masterminding with moguls, right? That's what he's referring to. But the same holds true right here in your business. Because guess what, guys? You own a multi-million-dollar business. You just need to build it. And by building your associations, by building the network that's around you, that's what's going to help elevate your income here. It's no different. Business is business, and it holds true. It's just our network looks a little different than the network that Mr. Grant Cardone refers to all the time when he's referring to building your associations. It's still building that association, but we are building an organization of associations, right? This is huge. This is big because you want to build family, you want to build culture, you want to build team, you want to build an organization that has the same mindset, and that network that you're going to build doing the daily activity is going to increase your net worth. So your network is still holds true here in Legal Shield is going to equal your net worth, right? So if you want to build culture, you want to build team, it all starts with duplication. And, we all own an agency, guys. I mentioned that yesterday. You might not have that mindset, but you need to put on the growth hat. If you want to build income that continues to pay you day after day, year after year, month after month, guys, for the lifetime of your lifetime, and something you could build a legacy, don't spend time trying to reinvent the wheel. Right? The strategy is already laid out. We already got everything in place for you. You just need to follow the system. I'm going to show you exactly why it works right now, right? Like we mentioned, we want to build an organization of individuals, but we want them to duplicate, and you want it to duplicate in depth, right? And the way you start planning that out is first understanding you, right? You need to understand how, I don't want to say how good you are, right? Because Mr. Jim Rohn says it all the time. If you do something long enough, a ratio will appear. And all that means is what is your consistent result of doing a certain activity, right? It's a mathematical formula. Every couple of times that I do this, this is my result, right? Look at baseball, your batting average, right? The batting average is just, it's a mathematical, equation that they figure out how many times when this person goes up to bat, is it likely that they're going to hit the ball? So a 300 batting average in baseball is pretty darn good. I mean, Jim Rohn says it, in one of his trainings, it's hilarious that you could miss. So batting average of 300 means that out of every 10 times you swing, you only hit the ball 3 times. And you can make millions only, swinging, like swinging out, like missing the ball 7 times out of 10, you can make millions as a baseball player, right? But they know their ratio. And you need to figure out what your ratio is here when it comes to, selling memberships, when it comes to recruiting individuals, when it comes to working your business. You need to do it consistently enough. And here's the word, consistent. You need to be consistent in your activity so that you could truly determine a realistic ratio for your activity, right? Mr. Nick Serba says it all the time. There's only 2 things that determine your success here when it comes to Legal Shield, right? Number 1, what are you telling people? And number 2, how many people are you talking to on a daily basis? So if you're consistent, guys, right? If you're talking to 2 people a day, every single day, 2 people a day, every single day, and you don't got people signing up, then you could turn around and say, well, what's my process look like? What am I saying to these individuals? And then you could fine tune that and maybe elevate your ratio. If you have a great pitch, but you're not talking to a whole lot of people, then you already know what your problem is. You need to talk to more people, right? So being consistent is the only way that you're going to figure out what your ratio is. And you need to evaluate that on your own, right? You need to be realistic with yourself and say, okay, I'm doing my 2 exposures a day. Am I getting the results at the end of the week? Because after the end of the week, you've talked to 10 people. You should have something happening at the end of that 10-day, that week journey, right? You also need to know what your goal is, right? You need to know what your ratio is. And then you need to know what your desired final outcome is. You need to know what your goal is if you are going to put a plan in place. A lot of people are saying, yeah, I want, 10 brand new associates. I want 15 brand new associates. I want, 25 brand new associates. You need to know what your goal is. And, there's all those, you can have SMART goals, and that's a whole other training, right? You got to be specific. It's got to be quantitative. You got to have a time frame attached to it. But just know what your number is, what your target goal, because kind of like basketball, guys. Anyone ever watch a basketball game without the goalposts? It'll be a very interesting game, just watching a bunch of dudes dribbling a ball with no real purpose, right? So you got to know what your goal is. So you want to write down, like I said, like we're on a 90-day run. We have 3 pit stops, right? We got Miss Kai Deering, August 19th, Mr. Brian Carruthers, September 9th, and then we got Beverly, Miss Karen Beverly, coming in October to wrap up our 90-day run. So you want to have goals for each one of those milestones, each one of those pit stops. You want to have a goal set for yourself to make sure that you're staying on track. You got to be consistent every day so you can adjust so that you can make sure that you're on point, you're on target to hit that goal. But if you have a goal, you have nothing to shoot for, you have nothing to stay on target for, you really can't hold yourself accountable to improving your ratio, right? So this is a very interesting slide, guys, and it just tells the story of putting those 2 together. So if your goal is to have 15 brand new recruits by the next Super Saturday, right? And everyone here could do it. I'm going to show you how in just a minute. If your goal is 15, and let's say your current ratio, right? Let's say for every 10 individuals that you prospect, every 10 exposures that you make, you get 1 recruit. That's not bad. That is not a bad ratio, but it's a ratio. It's consistent. That means that you could dictate your success by being consistent with your activity when you plug in that ratio. For example, I know if I want 15 brand new recruits, and every time I talk to 10, I make 10 new exposures, one of those individuals is going to become a recruit. That just means I need to talk to 150 people, right? Mr. Jonathan Gehrig, I love the fact that he said, listen, I want 25 brand new recruits. I only asked how many recruits you wanted. He said 25. He took it another level and he put in the activity that was going to be required. So I really appreciate his leadership. He said, that means I have to talk to 250 people, right? Now I want to add another layer to that to further understand, guys, that listen, we want to multiply, not add to our business, right? You could do all the work yourself, or you could put in consistent activity and lead by example and allow that to duplicate so that you could have the same success with less work being put in instead of having to do all of that on your own. And it falls down to those 2 exposures a day, every single day. So week 1, you go out, you decide right now, I want to have 15 brand new recruits for Kai Deering Super Saturday. How many people want 15 brand new recruits at Kai? Doesn't matter how big. Yeah, right. Everyone's raising their hands, but truly, what does it take to get that kind of result? What does it take for you to have 15 brand new recruits between now and an event that's happening in less than 30 days? You could do it. That's the good news. If you know your ratio, you could do it. You just need to figure out how many people, you got to backwards break it down, how many people that I got to talk to on a daily basis. But let's just talk about your 2 exposures every day. Week 1, you go out, you talk to 10 individuals, right? Those 2 exposures every day, Monday through Friday, that's 10 exposures based on the ratio we talked about, right? 10 exposures, 1 recruit comes out of that. That means at the end of the week, you should have a brand new recruit. Now, what's great about that is if you do this the right way, if you plug that brand new recruit into our system, plug them into the trainings, plug them into the way that you found them. I was committed to doing my 2 exposure day, which, by the way, guys, I want to just say, since you know, because it's a ratio and you know it's going to happen, that you have to talk to 10 people to get that 1 recruit, you already know that 9 are going to say no. 9 people are going to say no to you so that you can find that 1. So you can't get stuck on the 1 or the 2 or the 3 or the 4 that say no, because you're looking for the 1. You're looking for the 1 out of that 10. So if you could just focus on the results, not the, or focus on the success you're going to have from those failures, and understand that you're going to get the no's. Don't let the no's hurt you, because it's part of the process to get the yes, right? So detach yourself from the results of those exposures and just focus on the fact that I need to talk to 10. I don't care if you say yes, no, maybe tomorrow. I need to talk to 10 to find the one that says I'm going to get signed up right now. Now, going back to your exposures, when you bring that brand new associate in, if you say, look, we're doing 2 exposures a day, that second week now, you've just doubled your efforts. Your goal is still the same, 15 brand new recruits, but isn't it nice now that you have reinforcement so that you don't have to make the 150 exposures all on your own? You have help now. You've duplicated yourself. You say, listen, we're going to go out and talk to 2 people a day. No excuses, no matter what. We just want 1 yes for every 10 exposures. Week 2, between you and your associate, you now made 20 exposures instead of just 10. And if you hold that same ratio, guys, for every 10 exposures, you get 1 recruit. Now you have 2 brand new recruits that week, which means week 3, you now have a team of 4. Duplicating that same activity over and over. 2 exposures a day, no excuses. 2 exposures a day, no excuses, guys. Now you have a team of 4. And that week you make 40 exposures using that same ratio. If you have 40 exposures, you should have 1 new recruit. Now you have 4 new recruits, guys. Week 4, you now have 8 people going out doing 2 exposures. That's 80 exposures happening on your team. How long would it take you by yourself to do 80 exposures, right? You're compressing your time frame to meet your goal, utilizing the duplicated efforts of your team, and it's going to get you that same result without having to put in all of the legwork to do it on your own. I love this business, guys. Now, after that 4th week, And after those 80 exposures, you just had another 8, which means, you know, in total with you doing your 2 a day, and teaching all those individuals, you now have a team of 15 people ready to show up for Miss Kai Deering, to get exceptional training, to allow them to invite guests to get in front of success, guys. You could double that 15. I tell you, listen, if you focus, and this is the next training, is Super Saturdays. If you focus on just bringing one, if you have a team of, if you build a team right now, doing 2 exposures a day, guys, with that ratio of every 10 I talk to, I know one's going to say yes, with a no excuses attitude, guys, you'll have 15 brand new people at that Super Saturday, and you could tell them just bring one. And now on your team, you have 30 people at the Super Saturday. You probably own a third of the room. How exciting would that be for you? Does anybody want that? I mean, give me a thumbs up. Am I making sense? Is this helping anybody, guys? This is exciting stuff. It just means you need to get to work. We know the service works. We know the company pays. We know the attorneys are awesome. Just do the 2 exposures every single day. No excuses. All right. So laser focus, guys. Write that goal down. Right? Our 15 minutes are up here. Write that goal down. Backwards construction. I guarantee if you just do 2 exposures every day, you can achieve that goal, guys. So listen, I love you all. We will see you back tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Make sure that you get your teams on here. Make sure you come with pen and paper, because tomorrow's training is going to be off the chain, guys. Love you all, Florida. Let's go to the top, guys. Listen, we got 5 days to slay the month. 5 days. That means you can have, right, if you start right now, 5 days, 2 exposures a day, you could all have 1 brand new recruit. That's exciting, guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning, guys. Love you, Florida. Take care.